Could the automatons be part human, or are they AI? Where do they come from? How are they able to hyperjump and surprise attack Cyberstan? For other viewers, I plan to discuss these things, and hopefully I can answer some questions using lore and theories. Over the last 4 weeks, I saw a few videos trying to address automatons by Nate's Gamebox and Joe Plays Games. I'll see if I can link the creators in the channel in the description, so I can give them the proper credit. But after watching their videos and seeing the theories they presented, I decided to go and do some research myself to see if I could reinforce their ideas or even find counter evidence entirely. In my findings of a nearly 4-week hell dive, for any little detail in this faction, and I have come up with my own theory. If you're new to Helldivers series and only started playing Helldivers 2 like me and never played the first one, well, we know that in Helldivers 2 that we fight a faction of robots that hate liberty and everything about Super Earth, but they're the automatons. It's never stated why these automatons hate Super Earth, we just know that they do. Well, this hate is not just out of nowhere, but it's a hatred harbored from their creators. In Helldivers 1, which takes place 100 years prior to Helldivers 2, there are no automatons, but the enemy faction there was called cyborgs. As it sounds, the cyborgs were part machine and part flesh. The cyborgs were a group of humans that hated Super Earth and claimed it only told lies. They also believed that machinery was superior to flesh, and so they started experimenting and became cyborgs. As we know, Cyberstan was their home. Now, in Helldivers 2, it's a mining planet, and the cyborgs are prisoners forced to mine for materials. Previously, the symbol for the cyborgs was a red star. But if you look at the symbol for the automatons, it's the same star, but now it's in a metallic black with a gear around it. And there was a tweet, I believe, that an automaton outright says that the creators are on Cyberstan. So you might say, okay, well, they are just machines. But to Nate and Joe Play's theory, they believe the machines are using human brains. But I want to say that the theory may not be entirely plausible. A lot of enemy types from Helldivers 1 have a striking resemblance to the automatons now. Some of the bigger, badder cyborgs became tank-like death machines. This enemy in particular, the Warlord, looks near identical to what is now the Hulk in Helldivers 2. I like to think that back even in Helldivers 1, there were automatons. Looking at the Hulk in Helldivers 1, in the Helldivers 1 wiki, the description says that a massive men created a metal case stating that most cyborgs strive to become, yet few reach this grotesque goal. And if you look at the next big enemy, it is a Warlord. The description says a massive being putting Hulks to shame. They are the absolute top of cyborg society. It specifically says they are not men, but rather beings, claiming they are the top of society of people trying to become machines. I believe even as far as 100 years prior to Helldivers 2, these warlords were fully automated. And you might say, sure, this probably means that they might have first made automatons long ago, but this does not disprove Nate and Joel's theory on human brains. Now I'm going to step into some speculation. I believe the automatons are not using human brains, but are actually meant to be AI, to replicate their creators. But to tell you why I came up with this conclusion, I have to go back to Helldivers 1. Back in Helldivers 1, there was a third faction called the Illuminates, a super advanced alien species that posed a threat to Super Earth, because they were making weapons of mass destruction, possibly to use against Super Earth. One of these weapons was an AI that was so dangerous it would turn on its creators at the very thought of something the machine did not approve of. So we exterminated all the Illuminates in the previous game. And if these species were as any smart as the game made them sound, these floating aquatic aliens should be smart enough to understand the enemy of my enemy is my ally. I have a theory that these two groups may have teamed up in the past, but my evidence for this idea comes from now in Helldivers 2. When the automatons suddenly attack Cyberstan, as we can see from the newscasting of the event, it shows footage of automaton ships flying in space, as well as these massive ships possibly close to size in our super destroyer. These same ships were seen to have hyperjumped in the Valdez sector where Cyberstan is located. Well, that is the odd part. Unless someone from Super Earth gave these automatons their own destroyers, these bots should not have this technology. The only reason Super Earth can hyperjump is because they liberated this technology from the Illuminates in the past. Well, if my theory is to be true, then there might be some Illuminates that escaped, laying in wait, aiding the cyborgs in the development of weapons, automatons, and what appears to be their own version of the Super Destroyer. Perhaps these two factions were also working together in the past. This could be why from Helldivers 1 Hulk to the Warlord, the description reads from man to being. Perhaps the Illuminates gave cyborgs a weaker AI technology to build their own bots, primitive to the Illuminate machines. Because of per brain theory, we need brains. Even though there are plenty of scientists, soldiers, and possibly farmers to civilians on each planet, I believe these automatons could not harvest the brains if they wanted to, because they are not equipped with the precision surgical gear. They are fitted with guns, chainsaws, fire swords, and rockets. I don't know about you, but I've never seen these things in my doctor's office. Not only are these automatons not likely to able to harvest these brains, we see that with the automaton surprise attack, the bots came from a part of space beyond Super Earth's reach, a location called deep space, and possibly beyond what Super Earth knows is out there. And here comes the biggest wrinkle to my brain theory. We know that there were more automatons in this ambush than the automatons we've seen in the territory they previously invaded. But if the automatons amass their forces far beyond Super Earth reach, then how could they possibly use the brains of Super Earth citizens undetected? This many people require for the scale of surprise attack would not go unnoticed. So it would be more logical to think that cyborgs from long ago learned to make AI to copy their likeness and to keep the fight alive, to fight another day, to hopefully beat Super Earth and free their imprisoned creators. With that said, that's all I have for you this week. I'm not quite sure what I want to talk about for the next time, but I'll leave you with this. Have you ever wondered why the meteor showers glow blue when entering the atmosphere, instead of the red flames like our hellpods? Maybe it has something to do with the purple glowing lights in the sky when the meteors are raining down. Well, viewers, remember to like, comment, share, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.